In the first week of Donald Trump's second term, the president wasted no time in pushing forward several key policy initiatives and controversial decisions. Here's an analysis of the significant actions that have characterized the early days of his new administration. Immigration crackdown. Trump's reassertion of his hardline stance on immigration has been one of the defining features of his early term. With an emphasis on aggressive deportations and tightening border controls, the administration aims to regain momentum on an issue central to Trump's political identity. Supporters argue that stricter immigration policies are necessary to address the chaos created by an influx of undocumented migrants, while critics will likely question the human cost of such measures. Return of federal workers to the office. In a move that signals a shift away from remote work, Trump ordered federal employees to return to in-person offices. This policy, which contrasts with the more flexible approach of the previous administration, is aimed at enhancing productivity and ensuring that federal workers fulfill their obligations. While advocates say it will restore accountability, there are concerns about its long-term impact on worker morale and efficiency. Executive order on free speech. One of the more significant executive orders in Trump's first week involves a ban on federal employees engaging in or facilitating actions that infringe upon Americans' free speech, specifically targeting government pressure on social media companies to censor content. This move underscores the president's commitment to limiting government overreach in digital spaces, which has been a central issue for conservative voices concerned about bias in tech platforms. Reversal of COVID-19 vaccine requirements for permanent residency. Trump's administration has also reversed a Biden-era mandate that required COVID-19 vaccinations for those seeking permanent residency. Critics of the mandate hailed this as a victory for individual liberty, particularly as the necessity of vaccine requirements for immigration was increasingly questioned in light of shifting public health data. Transgender inmates in federal prisons. In a move that has sparked heated debate, Trump signed an order to end the practice of housing transgender women, biologically male, in women's federal prisons. Proponents argue that this is necessary to protect the safety and rights of biological female inmates, while opponents argue that it discriminates against transgender individuals and undermines their rights. This policy continues to be a flashpoint in the broader conversation about transgender rights and prison reform. Controversial decisions. 1. Launch of the Trump Memecoin. One of the more unusual and controversial developments in the first week of Trump's second term was the release of the Trump Memecoin, a cryptocurrency tied to the president's image. Critics were quick to point out that this venture resembled a financial gimmick and raised ethical concerns about the president's involvement in speculative digital assets. While the Memecoin may appeal to Trump's base, its timing and potential for exploitation make it a contentious move. 2. Pardons for January 6th rioters. Perhaps the most divisive decision made during Trump's first week in office was the pardon of individuals involved in the January 6th Capitol riot. While Trump supporters argue that many of the rioters were overly punished and that the government overreached in their prosecution, pardoning those who committed violent acts, such as attacking law enforcement officers, has drawn sharp criticism. Many see this as a dangerous move that undermines the rule of law and the gravity of the assault on democracy. 3. Withdrawal of security from key figures. Another controversial decision was the withdrawal of security details for former officials such as Mike Pompeo, John Bolton, and Brian Hook, all of whom could be at risk from hostile foreign actors, particularly from Iran. Critics argue that the removal of security puts these individuals in jeopardy, especially given the real and sustained threats they face. On the other hand, the removal of security for Dr. Anthony Fauci, who Trump allies argue never faced genuine threats, was seen as more justifiable. Trump's first week in office has been marked by a flurry of bold actions, each of which reflects his commitment to implementing long-standing campaign promises. His aggressive approach to immigration, efforts to curtail censorship, and moves to reshape the federal workforce are likely to energize his base. However, his controversial decisions, such as pardoning those involved in the Capitol riot and promoting speculative financial ventures, could lead to significant political and legal challenges.